Right. Capitalism. It's a term that seems to be everywhere these days. You hear the word in news reports, political debates, and even casual conversations. It's become a ubiquitous part of our modern lexicon. But what does it actually mean beyond the buzzwords and the headlines? What are the core principles that define capitalism as an economic system? Imagine a giant game of Monopoly, but for real life. A high-stakes version where the properties are factories, businesses, and resources. Most of the important stuff, factories, shops, the means of production, the places where goods and services are created and exchanged, big ideas, is owned by private people or companies, not the government. It's about individual initiative and enterprise rather than state control. That's private ownership, the cornerstone of the capitalist system, the main goal, profit, generating wealth and increasing capital. Businesses compete to sell you things, vying for your attention and your money, hoping to make money. That's the driving force behind innovation and efficiency. Sometimes this means better, cheaper products. Competition can lead to improvements in quality and affordability. Sometimes it just means endless brands of the same crisps. The illusion of choice, perhaps. The theory is, if everyone chases their own gain, if individuals and companies pursue their own self-interest, society benefits, a big, optimistic somehow. The invisible hand at work, supposedly. It's not inherently evil. It's a system with potential for both good and bad. The idea is that innovation and risk-taking are rewarded. Think self-stirring teacups, the quirky inventions that make life a little easier, or shinier mousetraps. The constant drive to improve and create. The key bits. Private ownership of the means of production, the resources and facilities used to create goods and services, and relentless pursuit of profit, the engine that drives the whole machine. This system has created enormous wealth, unprecedented levels of prosperity for some, and technological progress. It's reshaped our world in profound ways, but it's also created massive gaps between the rich and everyone else. A stark contrast in living standards and opportunities. Think Grand Canyon-level gaps, a chasm of inequality with cash on one side, overflowing with abundance, and IOUs on the other. A mountain of debt and financial insecurity. We'll get to that. We'll delve deeper into the complexities of wealth distribution. Capitalism, a system with big consequences, a system that shapes our lives in countless ways, for better or for worse. So, in the grand game of capitalism, who really comes out on top? Who are the individuals and entities that accumulate the most wealth and power? It's certainly not your local lollipop lady, diligently ensuring the safety of children crossing the street. It's not the everyday worker, but those who control capital. Money, the lifeblood of the system, property, tangible assets that generate income, stocks, ownership in companies and their potential profits, and of course the businesses themselves. They own the hotels on Mayfair, not just rent a room for a night, they possess the underlying assets. Why are they so richly rewarded? It often comes down to risk. They gamble their money, taking calculated chances on ventures that might fail spectacularly, so the potential rewards are exceptionally high. But when you already have billions at your disposal, risking $1 million doesn't carry the same weight as risking your last tenner. The stakes are fundamentally different. Leverage is another crucial reason for wealth accumulation. If you have money, you can invest in diverse assets, buy property and generate rental income, lend to others and earn interest, and ultimately your money works tirelessly for you, even while you sleep. The more capital you have initially, the exponentially easier it becomes to acquire even more. A powerful snowball effect, gaining momentum as it rolls. And then there's the perceived scarcity, the mystique surrounding of specialized financial skills. The ability to navigate complex markets and understand intricate financial instruments is highly prized and handsomely compensated in our society. Whether these skills are inherently more valuable to society as a whole than, say, the dedication required for teaching a child to read and write is certainly debatable and worthy of deeper consideration. But within the framework of this capitalist system, financial wizards, those who master the art of capital allocation, get paid like, well, wizards wielding magical powers. Ultimately, that's who capitalism disproportionately rewards. Those who control and manipulate capital to their advantage. Let's get specific. Who are these high earners? Investment bankers help companies raise money and broker big deals, earning huge commissions. Hedge fund managers run investment funds for the wealthy, using aggressive strategies to chase massive returns and pocketing a share of the profits. Property developers buy, renovate and sell buildings for big profits, often changing entire neighborhoods. Venture capitalists invest in risky startups, hoping one will become the next big thing and pay off big. These roles are all about moving and multiplying capital. The pressure is high, but so are the rewards. They're celebrated as risk takers and innovators, and they're paid accordingly. Now let's flip the coin. Who keeps society running? Nurses, teachers, cleaners, care workers, supermarket staff, delivery drivers. These are the people we can't live without, especially in a crisis. Nurses save lives, teachers shape the future, cleaners keep us safe, care workers support the vulnerable. Their work is demanding and vital, but their pay rarely reflects that. Clapping is nice, but it doesn't pay the bills. Many leave these professions because wages haven't kept up with the cost of living. These jobs are the invisible scaffolding of society, yet they're often undervalued and underpaid. The contrast between their importance and their compensation is baffling. Let's paint a picture, a stark contrast of two different worlds existing side by side. Meet Alex, a hedge fund manager, sharp, driven, and operating in the high-stakes world of finance. He lives in a penthouse apartment overlooking the city, a symbol of his success. He makes million-pound trades, moving vast sums of money with every click. He enjoys seven-figure bonuses, rewards for his performance and the profits he generates, and he escapes on luxury holidays, jetting off to exotic destinations whenever he needs a break. Stressful? Sure, the pressure is immense, the competition fierce. But the rewards are huge, tangible, and constantly reinforcing his efforts. Now meet Sarah, a nurse, compassionate, dedicated, and working on the front lines of healthcare. She faces early mornings, often starting her day before dawn. She endures long shifts, often working through the night to care for her patients. She makes life and death decisions, shouldering immense responsibility with grace and skill. Yet her pay barely covers the basics, forcing her to constantly juggle finances. Her contribution is immense, invaluable to society, but her financial reward is, sadly, not so much. Then there's David, a property developer, ambitious, resourceful, and always looking for the next opportunity. He buys up old warehouses, neglected and forgotten spaces in the urban landscape. He turns them into luxury flats, transforming them into desirable residences for the wealthy. And in doing so, he makes a fortune, capitalizing on the demand for high-end living. He's celebrated as a savvy entrepreneur, a visionary who revitalizes neighborhoods and creates value. Compare that to Maria, a hardworking and dedicated individual. She's been a school cleaner for 20 years, a constant presence in the lives of countless students. She takes pride in her work, ensuring a clean and safe environment for learning, but her wage barely rises above minimum despite her years of service and unwavering commitment. She often works a second job to make ends meet, sacrificing her time and energy to provide for her family. Her work is essential, vital to the functioning of the school and the well-being of its students, but her financial security is always precarious, leaving her vulnerable to unexpected expenses and economic hardship. The system values David's capital skills, his ability to generate profit, far more than Maria's dedication, her commitment to serving her community. The stories are different, each unique in its details and circumstances, but the pattern is clear, a recurring theme that highlights the deep inequalities in our society. Capital gets rewarded, those who own and control wealth accumulate even more. Essential work, the labor that keeps our society functioning, not so much. That's the reality, a complex and often uncomfortable truth about the way our economy operates. Why the huge pay gap? Capitalism rewards profit generation and capital ownership above all else. It's not about societal contribution, it's about what makes money. A star trader brings in millions for a bank, so they get paid millions. A care worker's value is social, not easily monetized. Owners of capital can profit from the work of many. Essential workers can't scale their impact the same way. Capitalism values what it can measure, profit. The good done by essential jobs is harder to quantify in pounds and pence. So, the system rewards the financier more than the lifesaver. It's a paradox. So what can we do? How do we make rewards fairer? Progressive taxation, higher earners, especially those making money from investments, pay more tax. That money funds public services, strengthen trade unions, give workers more power to bargain for better pay and conditions, raise the minimum wage to a real living wage. No one working full-time should live in poverty. Consider universal basic income as a safety net, and